We don't come to satsang to learn something, but to gently forget where you've been. And don't have a clue. Robert always urged us to be among the clueless. It was a badge of honor to not know your feet from the ground. This kind of meditation where you sort of just freelance and let whatever comes up come up. It's a good generic kind of meditation. It means anybody can do it. No prayers, no bowing, just settling into yourself. And in that self, finding oodles of bliss. And if you haven't found the bliss yet, just wait. Don't push it. Don't encourage it. Just go about your business of preparing for satsang and being in satsang. Empty your mind. When the mind gets large enough, the world fills it. Then you're in stasis. Very deep surrender. And also, the more you sit, the more you experience the benefits of meditation. Like finding unending bliss. But that would not have satisfied me 40 years ago. I wanted knowledge. But there's nothing in knowledge. First grade, third grade, fifth grade, seventh grade, 17th grade, 23rd grade. We who have gone on to multiple college degrees because we didn't know what we wanted to do. So we kept going to college to tie a sort of opportunity, find out where we're at, what we want to do. But I got the feeling, the definite feeling, that this group here is well aware of the bliss to be found in silence. Not right away, but after you've practiced quiet meditation for a couple of years, All you have to do is hear a few notes of the bhajan or whatever is being presented. And you go into quiet bliss, no movement of the mind. It's just open. It resists nothing. When the chants were playing, it just had chants, not the quietness. Now there's a quietness, and I'm interrupting it by talking too much about the quietness. But never lose an opportunity to sit with a group that's been going on for years. There's a steadiness and a power in them. They take you beyond what you're capable of doing by yourself because you have people in meditation are more advanced than you are. And it allows for you to open yourself to the depth of their own insights and understanding. With me, my mind doesn't talk much when I'm alone in sitting meditation. It doesn't trust words. I don't trust words. But sometimes, like in satsang, you can feel a feeling of sync, that you're linked by some sort of bonding. For satsang goers, it's usually a quietness, an awareness that it's being recorded. The best thing you can do is throw it all away. All the things you can make out of the silence, out of sitting meditation. But instead, just allow yourself to become dumb as a rock. And I know how vulnerable that makes people feel, that they're dumb as a rock. They feel dumb as a rock. Who's going to take care of me if something dreadful happens? Well, it's going to happen to you whether you meditate or don't meditate. Meditation isn't a protective cloak, because meditation is merely sinking into yourself, your experience of yourself. And in the lowest possible depth of yourself. Here, there's not much going on in terms of thinking or even mudras. or listening to satsang. The essence here is let go. Let go. If you feel you're comfortable letting go, let go some more. You pour yourself out, and what you pour out goes to the gutter and is quickly whisked away so that you take it no heed anymore. You've delivered your pearls of wisdom. So just sit back and be yourself. It's not a simple thing being yourself. The more you meditate, you see there's more and more made up of this idea called self. There's your feeling of your body. There's the feeling of the power of meditation within, the kind of freezing and landing on nothingness. Who would have believed that so much could be wrapped up in this state of nothingness? We fill our minds with crap all day long. Things we learned at school today, things we didn't wish to happen to us. Sometimes maybe somebody called us that we had not talked to in years. We're quite excited by the restart of that relationship. But our job here at Satsang is really learning how to do nothing. Because nothing is the gateway to the deeper mind, the mind without words. The mind that's its own sail. And it waits for a little breeze to come and take you and to go on away somewhere. Right now, your mind is what it is. Whether it feels bold or preoccupied or criticized or filled with the fluids of meditation. But boy, when you get to the place where that meditation explodes inside of you, You're in the new world. You've gone beyond. You're in the world of bliss and happiness. This becomes your own private cave, your own meditation monument. You've built it yourself over a couple of years or more. This is your base. Each day you can hardly wait to return to your base. Throughout the day, you'll be remembering what it's like to be operating from no mind. And then when you actually start transitioning into deeper states, the mind gradually drops away, leaving nothing. And this is where you can grasp nothingness. There's nothing happening in class. It's really hard even to say that there is something in the class. Because whatever it isn't responding to these words. But there's a comfort. You're sitting in your own shadow, so to speak. The fireworks that come out of you. The consciousness that stays within. The talking and the activities that go without. But for a few brief minutes, every day that you practice meditation, you get to be able to fill yourself with silence. And in that silence, you become like a tuning fork that is feeling for the is for the, what do you call it? The frequency of nothingness. And if you follow that search down for the ever decreasing frequencies, watching consciousness slip away and then pursuing it, you really get to know yourself and what you're really like. There's no room for hiding things in Zen, because the only one you'd be hiding from is yourself. And what's the point of lying to yourself in order to preserve a better image you might have? Quiet meditation, following what's there, is revelatory. Just the act of doing it makes it happen. And after years of practice of meditation, hardly a day goes by without you wanting to spend at least a half an hour in meditation. Because that meditation is so quieting, so freeing of thoughts and of duties and of needs to do something. You feel like it would be some dust struck up by passing people walking and horses. None of that touches you. You're in silence now. And what does touch you is the silence itself. The silence is huge. It's bigger than you are. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than our Sangha. It's bigger than Buddha's original Sangha. And chants, we listen to them. We can go into a swoon where we forget ourselves entirely and get in touch and caught up with the elevation you feel in meditation. You're beyond what you ordinarily are, on the edge of emptiness, the edge of quietude. And as you practice meditation, more and more things happen to you during meditation. Most of it very subtle. And you only realize something happened 3 or 4 weeks later, after it becomes solidified in your new understanding. It takes away your restlessness. If you're restless, you waste your time in living because you're not really living. You're trying to live, and trying to live is not living. There's nothing more to learn, nowhere to go. Just be yourself. But isn't that the rub? What is this self? How deep does it go? How quiet does it get? How powerful does it get? You know, there are some people that practice meditation a lot. And they tend to be quiet individuals. Because they love quietness. They sit in happiness. Because that's what you become after years of meditation. You become the worshiper of your own consciousness. It's utterly impossible to state what your goals are when you've only been practicing for a year or two. You don't know yourself enough yet to be able to intuit where you're going and where you want to go. At first, you're just blind, and you feel the blindness and kind of fear it too, because how can you be safe if you fear the unknown? But there'll come a time if you practice and you actually get it. Or meditation puts you in a world of pristine. The spirit is pure. The experiences are pure. Your heart merges with your body consciousness, and there's only one. Your mind is gone. Everything is open. You're like an open book, sitting in meditation, experiencing everything in the room, as well as everything inside yourself. And after you practice long enough, you're able to enter the various meditative states relatively easy or without effort at all. But people, you shouldn't be a teacher at that time. You have to wait until the teachings have passed you by and you're no longer interested in them. Instead, you're interested in yourself, what your body experiences, what your mind feels and hears. You've gone deeper into yourself. You're no longer the bubbling bubblehead. Be quiet. You know the important stuff doesn't need noise. Noise distracts from what you truly are. You don't know who you are or where you are. But I can imagine myself right now with white clothes on, sitting in half lotus, anywhere, like in a class or outside on a mountaintop. Doesn't matter because each place is different, feels different. And boy, does a meditator become familiar with the what would we put it, with the feeling of the reality you're in. It changes from hour to hour where you are, what you're doing. But always you are there, even though you may not be aware of yourself being there. Turn your attention backwards into yourself. Claudine, you're very restless. That's it. Go. That's it. Sit down in the other chair. Go and sit down. Now sit in the other chair. Which one's better? Okay, go back. Michael T., you look happy.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if there's a distinction in the in getting to the divine state. What I mean is, often I have these lousy meditations. I mean, I'll be truthful to you. I try every now and then. I'll have a good one, but it seems like the magic for me happens outside of it. I'll plan a meditation at a certain times of the day and it works. And it's nice in regards to its silence, but when I'm out alone, other things start happening. Like it's more like an immersion instead of a meditation. It's it's like a state of divinity. It's different. It's like you're not choosing to meditate, but something just happens and it presses into you, like comes down like rain, and you're like totally in a different state. And I'll humbly say that it's like a divine state. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, it's like everything you say, you describe here, but it doesn't seem like it. I don't know if meditation sets up the avenue for those occurrences to happen. It almost seems like on Star Trek when they beam you on a transporter, you're finally able to rid of your environment and everything else, and something else comes into your aura and you're in it and you just don't want to get out of it and you just want to stay in it as long as you can. And then life becomes a matter eventually of, okay, am I going to just mess with this world out here? Because it seems like it's easy to lose that state. I mean, you get out of that bubble and you're getting go to do an errand or something, and it's easy to slip out. Long story short, I guess I'm deviating what I was originally asking, but I was thinking, does is are those two different phenomena, the interaction of the divine when you're not actually meditating, and when I meditate and I guess it becomes a form of an object, the meditation itself, and it's not as freeing as contemplation or emptiness when you're just totally relaxed and not even meditating. I hope you understand what I'm trying to ask you.
No, I'm totally lost.
When I don't meditate, I seem like it seems like things happen in terms of being immersed into the bliss and into stillness. But when I'm meditating, it's more of a struggle. So, in other words, it seems like it all comes on the divine state or the stillness all seems to come on its own accord versus having to sit in meditation.
Okay. See,
But
the
does
thing they're
medit
talking about, the place, the last 5 inches before you get where you're going. And are you saying that that 5 inches is important, or staying at the source is important?
I guess trying to arrive at the source, it comes on its own like a tide. And it's mostly when I'm by myself, when I, or it just comes on its own versus sitting in meditation, where meditation has its own value in terms of its stillness, its quiet component, its peace. But then there's this other derivative that occurs on its own accord, like a big tide, a divine wave, an interaction with the actual physical aura, with something wonderful. And it comes, and I can't describe it, it's from within and without. But I can't just sit into meditation and get there. It happens on its own like a tide.
Well, just wait a while. It'll all come to you.
So
Soon
is
you
it
won't
so
have
should I
any, you won't have anything to do except be in
should I
yourself.
just let okay. So if that's more powerful than the meditation, just go with it.
No, it's the same thing. It's the
Okay.
same thing as meditation.
Oh, okay, because I gotta admit and be totally transparent. I'll schedule a meditation at like at in the middle of the day and it's a total I don't know, it's a total struggle. And then when I just forget about it and go off my own, something else happens. And I'm just wondering if the meditation stages yourself for these other things that happen outside of the city.
Say that again, repeat it again slowly.
I'm I'm just wondering if the exercise, I shouldn't call it exercise, but going into sitting meditation sets a foundation for these other things that happen when you're not in meditation.
Well, you can look at it that way, but it's more of a continuum than that. What you're doing, it's like A and B, A that causes C or something like that, but it's more like A, B, C, D, E are all separate and they're there all the time. And you kind of switch between the different places and then you stop and you just rest.
It seems like we're all living a double life. It's like we got this worldly life that takes that primary life has an effect of taking us outside of that singularity, and it's a tug of war.
I don't know what your situation is, but I don't experience that at all. I experience being in meditation as incredible happiness. The stillness is uplifting. The stillness leaves me feeling empty and peaceful. And that peace just gets deeper and deeper the longer I'm in meditation or studying myself. I think at your point right now, there's too much of a conceptual nature to your query to be able to be answered on a proper spiritual level. A spiritual level is more like when you're talking and then I point out an automobile has crashed through your kitchen or something like that. But eventually you become your own teacher. A lot of people refuse to give up their own role as their own teacher and say, I'll never do it. I'll never put another person before me. But let me tell you, with the different kinds of incredibly gifted and deep meditators that I have been with, they blow you away if you just allow yourself to be in meditation with them. It's all about meditation. It's all about finding who and what you are in the stillness of your own consciousness. And anything you talk about on the outside, effort, need, listening, effortlessness, all of these things are like teaching devices to take you to where you're going. And then when you're going there, you don't need the teaching device anymore. So the best teaching device is repeated meditation that gradually becomes more deep and successful over the months and years. You shouldn't select a day or 2 days or 5 days. I've known people that get so caught up in the idea that Buddha reached enlightenment within a week or something like that, or somebody else claims to have done the same thing. The world that I know and live in now is nothing like the world I lived in 20 or 30 years ago. Now I'm quiet. I don't try to read what's out there. I just relax and go with the flow. And there's nowhere to go, to turn to for some higher state. There's just the ability to come and go is unfettered. Tom, how have you been?
I seem to have a series of frustrations in coming to satsang, technical problems with my computer, this and that, but my meditation seems to stay solid. Working on getting rid of some medical symptoms, that would be very welcome.
Getting rid of somewhat?
Medical symptoms.
Oh, yeah. Actually, they become a delight. They become the center of your focus, of your attention. And it just allows you to be brought into deeper, more powerful meditation that involve life and death in your body.
I'd love to say I'm already there, but I'm not so sure.
Say that again?
I'd love to say I'm already there with what you say, but I'm not so sure. Maybe I have something to learn.
Well, you could try doubting me and saying, fuck it, I'm going to do what I've been doing along.
I've had a lot of practice with that.
You know, the more you sit by yourself, the more time you have for everything. Once you start sitting on a constant basis, it seems you have time for everything because you've slowed down, your interests have decreased, your health is better, you're not feeling any kind of restlessness there. And your whole life feels different. It's like the difference between being alive and being dead. You're coming alive, and what you go through feeling this increased aliveness may not be happy for you, but it's much, much better for you than not. It's so easy for people in spirituality to practice too many different things, trying to find the perfect one that gives the most results. But I find that it's better to have just a relaxed attitude towards anything you're going to learn in meditation or in chanting. Don't think about it. Don't imagine about it. Just wait for it to happen by itself. But it is good to have a meditation teacher who you deal with on a regular basis about your meditation. In spirituality, true spirituality, there really aren't many rules or any rules whatsoever. There's no best way and no worst way, no which way. There's only progress. You're going through your life, progressing through your life. And change comes, and change comes, and change comes. And then a long period of no change happens, and you feel good. Then change comes again, and change comes again. But over the years, accumulation of meditation has brought you close to your root. And all the different stuff in the world that happens to you after that, it doesn't really bother you or change you. All the change is really, it's really bullshit. There's nothing that's constant. So why worry about change or the lack of change? A lot of people live in a world where there's too much change. There's no stability whatsoever. And they hunt for peace. Maybe they go to nightclubs looking for peace. But look for nothing. Just sit inside yourself and feel your body. Feel your lungs. Feel your breathing. Feel your back muscles moving with the breath. Listen to the sounds around you. But do so intently. And you'll be rewarded by different periods of meditation. Sometimes the meditation comes easy and you feel like you're making great progress, and then nothing happens for a long time. And you get upset, thinking there's no progress. But when you can sit until you're satisfied with the sitting itself has decided how often you should do it, then you're happy. Anybody else have any comment? See, I see people who are in meditation now. Some who are on the borderline of meditation. It's okay. It's all okay. But if you pursue a life of meditation, your life becomes different. It's more powered. Any changes in you are happening faster. That's the power of sitting meditation. And in sitting meditation, if you can sit and just hold your attention in your heart for as long and often as you can, you'll feel a relaxation in your whole body and a feeling almost of divinity in the quietness. Which becomes the natural weight of you. You'll be close to that silence all the time. It'll guide you. It'll wash over you. It'll take care of you. And at the same time, you're aware of the power of meditation. And that's like a nearby huge generator of energies that can be energized for purposes, but not for no purpose. But for if you need to get something done. But if you're a good Zen student, there should be less and less that you think about like that have to be. Instead, it's much more fun just to watch where the ship of life is taking you.
It's Michael T again.
Yes.
Is that divine energy that one feels, that witness the bliss that comes in that interaction, is that God?
No. Leave God out of it. Only talk about what you know and what you experienced, and don't label it. It could be called spiritual intelligence that's brought into focus inside of you, your life comes together and is more like clockwork than dropping bowling balls all over.
The interesting thing is, I feel it almost as a like what you call a witness or a second party. That's what's kind of incredible about it. It's like it's as experiential as wind hitting my hair or someone giving me a slap on the head. I can clearly make the distinction that it's me and it's not me as well. And that's what's very interesting about it. It's a mystery.
Because you can't distinguish it.
Or I can distinguish it. It's almost like it can be a separate but same energy, but it could also have its own distinct energy. And that's what blows me apart. It's so interesting in that it's almost like what you subtly call a witness, and it's almost like something different instead of just everything about it being us or me. It's
Just relax.
amazing.
Don't try to understand. The less you try to understand, the better for you. Let the understanding come by itself, not to be prompted or sought after. Let it drop on your head some night when you're least expecting it.
Well, I gotta say, Ed, thank you because I only got to that because of coming here and listening to you.
Well, we know how to solve that problem. Don't come here and you won't have the problem. You won't have the dichotomy. Do you feel God in you? Yes. I see you are very relaxed. And that bespeaks somebody who's very close to their own nature. Like there's only a hair between you and that deeper nature. And more or less the states become blended anyway. Enjoy yourself. When I sit, sometimes I sit alone. But I usually don't practice formal meditation anymore. It's just that I go quiet and introspective during various times of the day. And I take snapshots of what I have to know at that time and work on it sort of in my unconsciousness in between sittings. It used to be sitting and the results I was getting from the sitting fitting into all the different things I've learned about teachings. But it's utterly confusing that way. You know, there are 5,000 years of different kinds of sacred living in meditation or esoteric schools of surrender or many, many different things, or feeling God's touch in all things. These experiences come to the meditators who have not stopped. They just keep going and going and going and going without any measurement change at all for maybe years, except that they feel better and better about themselves on the inside. And then one day they pop. To be able to get inside yourself as deep as your breath, or deeper if you can go there. You get dropped into a kind of antechamber to heaven. It's where you learn the rules of the game of self-introspection and meditation. If you do that for 20 years or so, you tend to drag a lot of spiritual weight around with you. And it affects others. Whether you're a teacher or not, it affects others. It's better to be quiet and open to emptiness than any other kind of meditation. Just sit and feel yourself. Spend a few years feeling yourself. Spend a lifetime feeling yourself, and I guarantee you, it'll keep changing, 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 and never get dull, because the subject matter has become more and more entertaining, you might say, grabbing your attention. Like, finally, this is the shit I've always wanted to understand, and it's coming now. When you start practicing spirituality, that means you've changed direction. Instead of being centered on your own life, living in a school or a job, a relationship, a marriage, or a military career. Life of searching for truth in your own self is really wonderful. To be so sure of where you are and where you're going. Not that the sureness was a sign, but it's a sign afterwards. But to be always up to one's tush in new stuff, new seeing, new ways of being, that's a real blast. It'll take you long, it'll take you far. Besides your own separate efforts to understand. In spirituality, there's very little to understand. Because spirituality is about uncovering all that is within you and owning it. And when you feel like you're the owner of your life, that's good, feels good. You're no longer at fault. I wish you all were able to sit with Robert in a satsang and watch how your own life changes with that, just that simplicity of going to satsang and sitting with a saint. Everything is taken care of just by that. Now stay this way as long as you can. Be in yourself.